Good morning, everybody. How are you all today? Welcome. Hi, Honora. How are you? I hope you're doing good. I saw your message, and I hope things are going a little better for you. So, I'm here. Welcoming everybody. I hope everybody had a happy Mother's Day, whether you are a mother or, of course, if you have a mother. I hope that you had a good Mother's Day one way or the other, or have children who are mothers, whatever it may be. I hope your Mother's Day was good. I got to go out and see my ma yesterday, which was very nice, and see my brother too, which was nice as well. So, but I hope everybody had a good day, and welcome back in. We are going to get back on our survival this morning. We're going to be back on our endless night run. We're on day 103. We're down in the abandoned Prepper's Cache in Pleasant Valley. We've got all of our gear down here, and now we just got to decide what we're going to take down, or how much of it we're going to take down to the farmhouse with us. And we may take a lot of it with us, depending on what we decide to do. Unless I decide to leave a bunch of it here and just like head out. Oh wow, it's really storming out here. That's not good. That's not a good situation right now. Okay, well, let's see where we're at weight-wise. We're at 39 kilos right now. We can go up to 45 before we're overweight. I might just leave some here. Good morning, Kenneth. How are you? Or afternoon, I should say. How are you? I hope you're having a grand day. So we've got all of our fuel here. We've got a bunch of food and other items here. We do need the heavy hammer either way we go. So the heavy hammer is like a non-negotiable. And then we have all this stuff in here. We got 4 drawers of stuff here too. I do believe I will take... Alright, let's put that away so we aren't wasting fuel this whole time. I do believe I will take a full jar of salt with me. And let's leave the smaller, I guess, or maybe I guess put that one in there. What else do we got in this one? We got, okay, we do want to take all of that with us in case we can go and get the recipe. Mrs. Honeypot, hello. Good morning, Cindy. How are you? Welcome on in, everybody. I hope you're all having a good day. Okay, I do need some of my feathers as well. Let's grab 20 of those. Let's grab like 3 pieces of leather. Good God, I have 25 leather in here. That is crazy time. Alright, let's leave that here. We'll just take one full one with us. That should be more than enough for what we need to do. We'll leave one of our pairs of crampons here as well. I'm gonna take all my matches with me just cause. Alright, here's where it gets tough, because okay, I do want to take, I'll take a black bear hide with me, and the deer hides, and a couple of the rabbit hides, and a few of the cloth. Did my mom enjoy her Chinese? Yes, she did. Yes, she has a little Chinese restaurant, Dancing Dragon. She likes to get Chinese food from, and so that's where we got her stuff from. So we went down there and got that, and she enjoyed it quite a bit. Take the gun with us. Take a couple of those. Good Lord, man. Okay, let's take the heavy hammer with us because we need that. I don't know if I actually need to take the sewing kits with us. I do need to take the whetstones with me. And let's take the torches with us too. And what was that noise? Hey, Justin, how's it going, buddy? Okay, and then we got that drawer there. Oh, that's the one we already been in. Okay. All right, what drawer have we not been in? There's one that has cattails in it. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, so we got this drawer here. Oh, here we go. Here, this is the one. This is the one I was looking for. Okay. So we are going to need a few of our guts. Let's take 8 of those, and then we'll take, like, 25 cattails. Just to have some food along the way. I think I'll leave this food here. And I'm going to definitely take a couple flares with us. We definitely want to take our arrow shafts and our arrow head. And let's take 30 of the feathers. And I think that's good. I think we're actually at a decent weight now. Which is shocking that we were able to actually get down to a decent weight right here. I think I will take one of the coffees as well. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Thank you for letting me post the Indiegogo campaign on Discord. It's one of the general. It's in one of the general chats. Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely. You bet. It's in one of my it's in one of the general chats on Discord right now. Very cool. I'll go take a look at it. And everybody go over and check out the Discord. Justin is involved with a movie, and they have an Indiegogo thing going on right now. Let's see if I can find it here. I'll post the link up as well. Let's see. Is it in general chat? This general. Is it in real life? Okay, there it is right there. Excellent, excellent. There we go. Alright. Gotcha. Terrifying 89's creature feature set deep in the forest of Maine. Support a Maine film today. So here is the link. It's kind of a long link, but that's okay. There we go. Oh, thank you, Honora. You are fast and quick in getting that done. I'm sitting here stumbling around, and Nora's just like, bam, she's got it. So there you go, boys and girls. Go check it out. See what it's all about. So it looks like did you just start it? Did you just start it there? The link's too long for YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to get that link smaller for YouTube. Let's see. I think. Hold on. I think this does it. No, that's still the long link. Yeah, unfortunately, it won't put it up on YouTube because it's too long. Darn it. Well, at least we got it out there on the Twitch side. So go check out Justin's Indiegogo there. Go check it out and see what it's all about. So. Oh, you got the short one. Cool. There we go. All right, so I think we're good to go as far as weight goes. We could grab a few pieces of food with this if we wanted to. I don't think I'll take the other black bear hide. We have the heavy hammer on us because we're going to be crafting or forging. Oh, you know what we probably want to take with us? We probably do want to take with us the couple pieces of metal we have here. Because without that metal, it'll be really hard to craft in the forge. There we go. Still building the team up. We'll be updating it daily. Yeah, I have to work on the link. That's okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it looks like Honora figured out a shorter link for it there. Yeah, it looks like Honora got a shorter link for it. I'm gonna actually copy and paste that into Discord myself. There we go. And that, I believe, takes you to the same thing, just making sure. Yep, that takes you to the same exact thing. Very cool. Okay. I just posted up the shorter link in Discord too, so that'll work as long as it gets 1 click a month. Oh, okay. All right. Now, off to Coastal Highway we will go. We'll see if this will work for us. It sounds like the storm has passed outside, which is awesome. And then today, boys and girls, we've got Long Dark here for the first 3 hours. We're also going to be getting back into the Machine Age in Stellaris. And that's going to be quite a bit of fun. I have no wood on me whatsoever. That is a problem. We do have some pies here. We only have 2 though. Okay. We have decision time to make, boys and girls. I think we need to make the decision to go back down to the farmhouse, drop some stuff off, come back up here and grab some more stuff. Because, yeah, we've got way too much stuff on us right now. Unfortunately, we can't carry the Travois all the way down to the farmhouse because there's a big old cliff between there and here. So, hey, King Caramel, how you doing? All right, I'm going to give you guys night vision out here because it's really dark. I'm going to go ahead and get my crappy bow in hand. But, King Caramel, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you're having a fantastic day as well, or fantastic week, month, whatever it may be. Whew. Wizad with the 25-month resub. Thank you so much, Wizad. Thank you so much for that 25-month resub there.
He just resubscribed for 25 months. Hope all is well.
Things are going good, my man. Things are going good. Your roars were so bright the other night, it felt like I was in the game. Yeah, I heard about him. I didn't see him myself, unfortunately. My mom sent me some pictures that her neighbor took. And yeah, I did not see them myself, though. Unfortunately, I missed those. I didn't get a chance, which made me sad. Because I'll probably not get a chance again like that. I was fast asleep when those happened. Yeah, I was watching them and thinking, Long Dark players are gonna love this. I bet. And I bet they did. So yeah, we got Long Dark this morning, we got some Stellaris this afternoon. I'm going out driving again tonight. That's gonna be fun too. So lots of good stuff coming up for us today. I'm really looking forward to getting back into the Stellaris Machine Age. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow I am going down to see my son at college, so I won't be streaming on Tuesday. This is kind of a shorter week because both Tuesday I'm going to see my son at college, and then Saturday is my uncle's, basically my uncle's funeral. And so I will be going to my uncle's funeral on Saturday. So both Tuesday and Saturday I'm going to be off. So we'll be streaming today, and then we'll be streaming again on Thursday and Friday, and then on Sunday. So it's going to be kind of a shorter, a weird week because of the activities that I've got going on. So less than great. Had a storm pass through North Carolina last Wednesday. Needless to say, a tree in my backyard split. One half took out my fence, the other half is on my house, thankfully not putting a hole in it. Oh my goodness, yeah, well, I don't know if you know about the GoFundMe I have going right now, King Carmel. We started up because about a month ago, my brother's house had a tree fall smack through the the kitchen and living room area of his house, and completely just wipe it out. And they're going to be out of their place for like 9 to 12 months now because of that. So I know all too well about what has happened with that as far as what he's gone through. So I hear you, my friend, and I'm hoping things are you know, I hope everybody's safe on your end, and I hope everything's good. So okay, we have already been in here. Okay. That was very bright. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I just wanted to check real quick that we'd been in there. Thankfully, no one was hurt. We're still not sure how it didn't break any kitchen windows. Well, it sounds like you got fortunate on that end. Sorry about the tree, though. That's not fun. You'll have to having to get that all cleaned up and everything. And my mom's actually having some trees taken out tomorrow. She has 2 ginormous old oak trees in the backyard that are showing a lot of signs of age, and the arborist was very concerned that they are they're endangering the house and houses around her. So I mean, those trees were there when we moved in over 50 years ago, and they were old then. So unfortunately, it's kind of time for them to go. We took some pictures of them yesterday. They're very beautiful old oak trees, but yeah, the arborist was rather adamant that they needed to probably be removed because their time has come. This one was ant-eaten, big black hollow in its base. It was unfortunate. It was this unfortunately inevitable. Yeah. A lot of times, if you know, bugs or disease get to a tree, or I mean, the one my brother had fall in his house, it seems like the cold. It was old. It was an old tree, shallow roots. The cold had got to it, and I guess this last winter we had a freeze and expand. Oh, Jesus Christ. We had a sort of a freeze and thaw winter where the water would freeze in the roots and expand them and break them.
BTW, I've got little return to the toxic region. Wheel my flare inventory. Welcome approx 30 new flare larvae.
Nice. We do have a D&D session this week with Valor the Desert Fox. Thank you for the 100 bits, by the way. With Valor as our glorious GM. And let's see. By the way, I got a little return to the toxic region. Well, my flare inventory approximately 30 new. Wow, you got 30 new flares. Wow. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of flares in the new regions. Especially there's a lot of blue flares in Bleak Inlet, but there's a lot of flares in Zone of Contamination as well. So yeah, cut those down before Mr. Mayhem comes to town. Those big oaks can blow over pretty easy. I had one barely miss my car in house last year. Wide, shallow roots, yeah. And one of the oaks that's in my mom's backyard right now, Diurnell's, is leaning towards the house. And they got branches on them that are like, they're probably a good 1.5 feet across. The branches on those things. The guy who's coming to cut them down is trying to find a place right now that will buy or take the larger pieces of the trunk so that they can actually, you know, utilize it for, like, you know, cabinetry and or tabletops, or, you know, basically they'll reuse the tree, the wood, because you know, the tree's not sick, and so they're like, you know, they want to at least use what's there. So that's kind of cool. But you know how you know blue flares have a utility now. They help versus the toxic wolves. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. Not for very long, unfortunately, since blue flares wear down so damn quickly. That's the only sad thing, is that they wear down just like, it's like just watching things just run out so quick. You're literally watching a fuse just go down and down and down and down and down, waiting for the dynamite to go off and the wolf to go, hello! There's a trick, you need to put it down and be a little back from it. Oh, okay. Interesting. So they're more afraid of the blue flares than they are of torches, is what you're saying. Oh, man. Well, I will have to check that out when we're there again sometime. I don't know how soon we're gonna go back to zone of contamination, though, but... Okay, I was very worried about a wolf there. Blue flares are the same color as lightning. Wonder if that's why. Possibly. We've been out for a little while. We're a little bit on the cold side there. I'm gonna need to go grab a tissue here real quick. My allergies are kind of kicking up here the last couple days. I was like, why are my allergies kicking up? And then I went out to go to my mom's yesterday, and there's like this fine layer of pollen all over my car, which I saw because I just washed my car the other day, and now my car's got this fine layer of pollen covering the entire freaking thing. Hey, Surfy Fly, how you doing? We are on about this game. Yes, we are talking about the blue flares. There's blue flares in this game that, they wear down super duper quick. Hold on one second. I gotta go grab a tissue real quick. Oh no, don't worry about it, Surfy Fly. Always feel free to ask a question if you're not sure what's going on. No, nobody's ever gonna judge you here about asking a question, for sure. Okay, so we do have stuff here. We do have stuff here. Okay, that's nice. What else do we have here? Oh, we have quite a bit of stuff here. Interesting. Okay, dokie. Alrighty then.
Barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, we have stuff in here too? No, we never. Did I never search that? How did I never search that cabinet? That is so wackadoo. Okay. Drop that. Drop that. Okay, let's leave all but 57 of the matches here. We'll take 57 with us. If we can't survive on 57, yeah, it is a lot easier to miss things in the dark, that is for sure. I probably came in here and poked around in the dark quite a bit. If the poll wasn't bad enough, I heard on the news that the wildfires in Canada are starting back up. Oh, geez Louise, really? I think we're really low on fuel for the lantern. Yeah, the lantern is pretty much, at this point, the lantern has 0.53 on it. And so we are pretty low, but the good news is, Honora, we're heading towards Coastal Highway. So we'll be able to have a lot of lantern fuel very soon. I definitely need that. You know what? I can probably repair that, but I need to be outdoors to do it. I want to take that with me. Let's... Oh, God, I don't want to leave the birch bark teas behind. Let's leave the accelerant here. So let's see what else we have here, by the way. Got all those matches, got all these torches. Got another one of those, got some ammo. Let's take our... We want our metal for sure. I think I'm going to leave the acorn grounds in these here because we've searched every prepper cache except for the one in Bleak Inlet and the one in Black Rock. And so that's where we're going to find our... That's at this point where we're going to find our recipe for Prepper's Pie. We aren't going to find it anywhere else. So what's the best way to farm lantern oil fishing? You'll want to go to Coastal Highway and fish in Coastal Highway. Coastal Highway has the largest fish in it. That's where you get the coho salmon, and those give you the most sort of fish oil per fish is in Coastal Highway. The other zones can give you some, don't get me wrong, but Coastal Highway gives you way more. Just because the size of the fish there is way better. I'm just trying to lower my weight down a little bit so we can maneuver around a little bit easier. I'm going to keep one of those and keep that on us. Trying to keep in mind that we're also going to find things in the other zone. There we go. Get rid of those. I'm gonna keep like 5 of those on me. If I need more than 5, I'm probably dead anyway. Let's leave a bandage here. We did find a fire striker at the summit, which is nice. I've got to ask. It seems people tend to say the fish cakes is the best recipe. Is that true? Just because it gives 4 cakes? Well, I mean, the fish cakes are a decent recipe. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I have the fish cakes yet. They're a decent recipe, but you gotta have fish to make them. And if they take flour, then no. If they take flour, then no. I'm probably not gonna do it. Prepper's Pie to me is the best recipe. Prepper's Pie gives me more of what I need than any other recipe in the game. Okay, we're good on all that stuff. I think we're actually good to go. We actually trimmed our weight even more, which is nice. We still have some cloth. We still have a few of the miscellaneous items that we want on us. I do need to grab a few pieces of coal. That's just to get us there. There's the, let's see, there's the cabinet. What's that on the ground? That's a torch? Oh, I'm trying not to light my lantern because I have so little... Oh, there we go. There's the door. Okay. Whew. I did it. I did it. Well, I think they're maybe just comparing calories. That's the thing is, for me, calories are not... Calories on an item are not as important as the... I mean, calories are important, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying calories as a whole are not as important to me as other things like what benefits they grant you. I think coastal fish cakes do give you some good benefits. I'm forgetting what they are at the moment, but I still hold that the benefit from Prepper's Pie is the best benefit of all, because the Prepper's Pie benefit It gives you 25 health. There's not another thing in the game that gives you 25 health with no, real problems. You need 2 rainbow trout, 2 raw two tater. Oh, you need taters. Well, then on Interloper, that's going to be a hard one. You'll be able to make a few recipes of those before you don't have any potatoes left. And potatoes in Interloper are pretty few and far between. So you have to have so it affects you get 15 stamina, maximum stamina for 3 hours, unburdened, and carry weight, and some cabin fever reduction. So I mean, they aren't bad benefits. I just don't think it's. I think people are looking at the straight calories, and that's not how I would look at it. But that's just me. I as an Interloper player, you kind of gauge things sometimes a little bit differently than people do on other difficulty levels, due to the scarcity of items as well as due to the, what you need. Stamina's all good and everything, but and unburdened is good as well, but it doesn't. The potatoes is sort of the stranglehold on that for us. Because, I mean, I'll find some potatoes in the game, but, maybe I'll find, like, 10 taters, 12 taters in the whole game on Interloper, and that'll be enough to make, 5 to 6 recipes of it? Whereas, I can make a lot of meat pies, which will give me 3 pies that each one gives me 3 kilos of carry weight extra, for 3 hours. So I'll probably make more meat pies than the fish cakes. But I get it for total calories, because if you get 4 of them, and they're each 300 plus calories, that's 1,200 calories for 2 fish. Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. Like Honora just said, rainbow trout is not that easy to get anymore. It used to be you got trout out of almost all the lakes. But now you mainly get whitefish and bass, and then there's a couple places you can get trout, but it's not like there's a lot of places for trout these days. The stalker pie is actually really good. It's very good calorie wise. But then again, you have to have raw wolf meat and raw bear meat, which raw bear meat's probably, of the 2, raw bear meat's the easier to get, or the harder to get. The wolf meat you can get pretty much anywhere, but then you have to carry it around with you for a while, and who wants to carry a bunch of bear and wolf meat on them for very long? That's no fun. Well, and honestly, Surfy Fly and Interloper, I don't count on any of the man-made food. Because any of the special foods, I should say. Because as neat as some of the special foods are, our odds of getting the ingredients for them on a consistent and good basis to keep us alive is very low. We are probably not going to find many of the ingredients we need, consistently. I have a better chance of finding, cattails than I do most of the ingredients, for the man-made foods, or the cooked foods, I should say. Oh, shushabai, darling, you're fine. Here we go. See, look at that. Look at that. We got you inside. You're all good to go. I know we've been in here. Yeah, exactly. You just cook a bit of meat, fill your hunger, and head on. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, like I said, it's kind of neat to make some of the special recipes, and generally the ones I'll make the most of is the ptarmigan, rabbit, and venison pies. Stalker pie, like was being said, is really nice. It takes an acorn ground, takes wolf and bear meat, takes cooking oil. So you got to have all these prerequisites kind of already there before you can make it. But it is very nice calorie-wise. You got to remember, though, it also smells. So if you make it and you take it and you're just carrying around 2 or 3 stalker pies with you, it's like carrying a few pieces of meat with you. It's going to make a smell. But yeah, I don't really bother with the stews very much because I find them to be a waste of my valuable flour. Same thing with the peach pies and the other pie, the rosehip pie. I generally don't make those either because they take up a lot of flour, and it's nice to get a little better, sleeping, a little better rest and that sort of stuff, but it's not that great. These ptarmigan pies, rabbit pies, and venison pies are probably the best use of my mill flour. Because that gives me that 3 extra carry weight, which can be very vital if I'm going up and down a hill or if I'm, traveling around or, doing whatever, so. And it does actually give you more calories for those items. Oh, please, God, don't be a storm out there right now. Seriously, game? Seriously? Yeah, the effects given can be nice. And it does convert. I mean, you look at the pies. You look at like say the rabbit pie. Sure, the pie is only 312, but you get 3 of them, so you get over 900 calories for half a kilo of rabbit meat. Half a kilo of rabbit meat usually will only give you like 300 calories. So you add a little flour and oil into it and water, and suddenly you're getting like triple the meat, triple the calories. Not quite triple the calories on the venison meat. Well, no, I guess a half a kilo of venison. No, half a kilo of venison would probably cook you up to about 500 or so. So you are getting just a little under triple with that. The rabbit and the ptarmigan are your best return for your money, though, as far as like maximizing calories, because both of those take a half a kilo of ptarmigan or rabbit meat, which is literally a few hundred calories, and it turns it into 300 calorie pies. Yeah, that sounds like a storm. That's not good at all. I don't like that. All right, is there any maintenance I can do? Okay, everything looks like it's maintained pretty damn good. No, there's no maintenance I can do there at all. If I was outdoors and it wasn't a storm, I could probably repair my travois. But it's storming outside, so that I can't do. Let's see. So that right now, we can get that back to 100%, so. There's the fire barrel. And that's the door there. Let's just poke our head outside. I'm sure it's a storm. It sounds like a storm. That would be a blizzard. That would be a blizzard. At night, outside, loads of fun. I guess I could light a fire. I do have a few pieces of coal. I think I took most of the wood in here already. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Well, let's just start a fire and make a little bit of water. Why not? I think all we have to make water in, though, is our skillet, because I think we left our pans up top there. Up top.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yep, we left our pans up top. That's okay. We're gonna get a pan in the, we'll get a pan over at the, Thompson's Crossing, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, how long will it take to repair that? 2 hours. Wow. Okay, I didn't think it was going to be 2 freaking hours. Good Lord, man. Now, in theory, I could make some rosehip pies, but I don't really want to. Let's see, what else could we do? We could make some coffee. Cook up a coffee, why not? Got 54 minutes on there. Let's do another liter of water. Add a stick, take a torch. Just make sure we absolutely did not miss anything in here. So we got a little torch light. Good, good, good. See? Look at that. We missed that in the dark. That is hilarious. Nothing in it, but we did miss it in the dark. Nothing over here, huh? Okay. Okay. Well, well, well. Now let's just sleep. We'll just sleep a little bit. Hopefully the storm will pass. No, it didn't pass. Okay. Okay, now it sounds like it passed, which is good. Okay, that's the truck there. There's the pole. That's the fire barrel. Gotta head off this way a little bit. We should find a door. There's the door frame. Perfect. Alright, let's get our bow out so we don't have... so we have a little bit of defense. There we go. Should have crouched before I went out, but that's okay. It's gonna be fine, right? Right? It's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. I heard something. What was that? What was that? That was a wolf howling over there. There's a wolfish boy over there. Let's head down this road here a little bit. There's a bridge right there, but there's a pond over here that has some cattails on it. And I want those cattails because I'm greedy. And then we'll head over to Thompson's Crossing. We'll probably take a little bit of cold damage doing this because it is severely chilly out to the tune of negative 40, 58. I mean, we're only feeling negative 18, but still, that's pretty cold. And sometimes the moose will be over here, too, so you got to be a little wary of him. He likes to hunt over here. He likes to stay over here in the birch forest. So we got to watch out for him as well. I guess I can give you guys night vision out here, because why not? Oh, you're fine, Aster. Don't worry about it, darling. Aster doesn't like being out here. That's what she just told me. She doesn't like being out here. She's mad at me. But that's okay. I understand. I understand. I don't like being out here either. It's cold. Hey, at least the wind died down a little bit. That's good. One last cattail here to get. They're kind of hard to see it. They're kind of hard to see in the dark, to be honest. All right, here we go. Up the hill to Thompson's Crossing now. I mean, one thing we could do is jump down to the river and then just follow the river up. There's really nothing. Well, I guess there is deer between here and there. Maybe. There may not be any deer out right now. Yeah, I don't really see any deer out. We'll just head over to the river and follow it up. There will be a few more cattails along that river. Sometimes there'll be deer just like right up in this little area right in front of us, but not today. You know, I don't think I've ever got this, I don't think I've ever tagged this cairn here. Meet me on Butcher's Road. I've never ever seen that one in my life. That is pretty cool. We found a new cairn that I've never actually checked out before. I like that. And it's one that actually had something on it. It actually had a good message on it, so it wasn't just, this Karen's story has not yet been told. I always hate it when it doesn't have a story. Oh, darn it. That guy was coming in at an angle. That guy was trying to be tricky about it. He was coming in at that angle there, boys and girls. We knew what was going on. Okay, here comes another wolf. I see him down there. I'm gonna crouch. I'm gonna crouch and try to snipe his butt. Our bow just broke, but that's okay. Woo! Okay, let's get our good bow out now. we had a backup bow already made. We were good there. Hey, Psychotic Deer, how you doing, buddy? You know what? I'm gonna go over and chill in this cave for a minute. There's a cave right here underneath that big rock that's sticking out. If we go up that way, we'll get Thompson's Crossing. If we go this way, we'll get down to this cave. And I believe sometime this week or next, we'll get some news for the next update. I feel like end of this week. Well, hopefully, I mean, I'm thinking so too, Psychotic Gear. It usually is around this time, so... Broken Bow, it's been a long road getting from there to here. Stewie, come on. Come on. How you doing, Stewie? Yeah, I think so too, Psychotic Gear. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll probably see something. And I hope for everybody's sake it's something substantial. I hope it has a lot of good information in it. Not only to deal with, you know, Chapter 5 of the, Chapter 5, or not, Chapter 5, but not only to deal with Tales from the Far Territory, but also Chapter 5 as well. I'm gonna drop that. We're gonna destroy that. So I hope it's a very all-encompassing kind of update for us that will have lots of good stuff. Just checking in from work, Stewie. Hey, man, take care, buddy. Take care. Well, they did say that Chapter 5... They did say that Chapter 5 was going to be this year, sometime. I'm thinking end of this year. That's usually, you know, I'm thinking like December-ish is probably when they're going to do it for Chapter 5. But who knows? It could be earlier, you know, if they so feel. Oh, you're thinking Chapter 5 will be split between both characters? Yeah, I believe so too. I think that's part of the stuff they're working on. I'm sure they're working really hard on everything right now. We haven't heard anything from them, which, honestly, we got that little teaser from Raph about the cougar, which is a good sign that, you know, usually they don't put anything out unless they have some sort of idea that they're going to be doing something soon. So like you, I'm kind of on board with you, Psychotic Deer, where they'll probably have something coming out in the next couple of weeks. So I'm mostly excited for the new region and the cougar. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm mostly excited for the Tails update, to be honest. That's what I'm excited for. So yeah, for me, that's the most exciting thing. And how you doing, Chris, over on the YouTube side? I hope you're having a grand day. So yeah, I mean, you know, the moment it's out, believe me, we'll get on and we'll discuss it. We'll look it over. We'll talk about it. We'll put up a little video on YouTube about it. The whole 9 yards. So, well, I'm hoping the cougar hide has something, you know, has some sort of usage. It'd really suck if we waited this long to get a new animal, and it had barely, you know, all we get is another coat out of it. I hope it's not just another coat. Because it's like, okay, we already have, like, 3 different options for coats. Even if it was, like, a new option for another pair of pants or something. At least that would give us something different to play with. Because, yeah, we already got 3 coats. I would prefer something we don't have recipes for already. Like, either underwear or shirts or something like that, or maybe expand on the modification of items. A cape for a accessory slot would be very cool as well. I still think though they need to expand the accessory slots and give items specific accessories for different places. You know, one for your torso, one for your legs, one for your feet, one for your hands, one for your head, and then have items only be applicable to certain areas. I think that would help a lot. And that would give us a lot more flexibility too. There's just so many accessories now. There's just so many accessories now. Well, I'm not saying they couldn't nerf the accessories as they go. They could nerf them if they did it. So. I mean, they could make the accessories a little less powerful, maybe? Because really, honestly, in this day and age, unless it's early game, I never use the head wrap. Unless it's like an early game situation, if I find an ear wrap later on in the game, I just rip it apart now. It used to be that was one of the most valuable items in the game. But now with the improvised installation, who cares? But if they made it so the improvised installation could only be used, say, on a chest or leg slot, and the moose-hide satchel could only be used on the chest or leg slot, and the bulletproof vest could only be used on the chest slot, You know, it would basically cause us to have to make some decisions. I think it'd be kind of nice because I don't think improvised insulation should be on your. I mean, where's that? You know, that's just a general accessory. Where's that going? Excuse me, god dang. My allergies are just kicking my ass today. Hands down, I like the improvised thermal, improvised bedroll as a Loper player. Oh yeah! The improvised stuff they added to us has really changed the game in a lot of ways too. And honestly, the game is always evolving, and stuff like accessory slots. Loper players, go ahead and scream about it. Who cares? If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. It's like, I know there's some interloper players who like, yeah, I don't use feats because I think it makes the game too easy. Well, you don't have to use any feats if you don't want to. Feats are a completely optional thing that you can customize around your survival experience. And if you don't like them, don't use them. It's as simple as that. Which is one of the wonderful things about Long Dark. If you don't like a certain aspect of it, there's nothing saying you have to use any aspects at all. I thought I'd get up here just to see if there was any wolfishes. Nope, no wolfishes there. Okay, perfect. Let's go. That's what I've always enjoyed about the Long Dark is, you know, especially with the custom difficulty settings now, is you can set the game as hard or as easy as you want to. You know, let's face reality. Most people use custom settings to do one of two things for a majority of situations. Most people use custom settings to either make the game harder than Interloper, like with No One Gets Out Alive, you know, or something like that, or they make it they make it so they can customize the game and make it a game that's sort of between Stalker and Interloper. Nobody really uses... I would imagine that not a lot of people use the custom settings to make the game easier than Voyager or Pilgrim. Maybe they use it for a variation of a Voyager type run, but generally they aren't like, oh, Voyager and Pilgrim are too hard, I'm going to make the game way easier than those settings. Well, no, I'm just saying as a majority, though. I'm saying as a majority of players, Honora, I would imagine that most players either make it harder than Interloper or make some variations to the easier levels or make a variation between Stalker and Interloper. So, is there a name for the hardest you can make it in this game? It's called No One Gets Out Alive Faces, where basically they turn off birch bark tea, they turn off health regen of any kind. The only way you can gain health back is from stims. So any points of health you ever lose, you permanently lose, basically. You're permanently always losing health. And so anything that's lost is gone forever. Unless you find a stim. You can use stims to get it back, but that's it. Alright, where is my recipe card? Don't see it there. There's a carrot for me. So yeah, have I beaten that one? I don't like playing on that setting. I like to be able to get some health back. To me that so for that setting, what you have to do is you have to play a very technical game. You can't really take any chances at all. You can't be like, hey, let's just YOLO it and go out into a storm. Because you have to figure that every point of health you lose, you're never getting back. And I don't play that. I play a very fast and loose game for the most part. I don't play a very calculated game like that. And so for me, that game difficulty is just not, it's not enjoyable at all. Because it doesn't allow me to take any chances. Where the hell is this recipe at? Usually it's like on this back counter here. And you know me, I like to just run out and be like, woo, let's go. Order beside the stove. Saw it back here? I don't see it. Did I miss it? I am so blind. God, I'm getting old. I don't see it. Oh, I'll come back. Oh, it was a stain. It was a stain on the floor. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. I see those too. I seriously, Honora, my eyes are getting mad, so I see those and I think it is too. But yeah, the no one gets out alive and that stuff. I just, you know, I let people like Perfect Trip, One and Only, the Bash Robe. I let those guys mess around with those difficulty levels because they enjoy them, and that's the thing is like I've always said, don't ever feel bad, you know, that you only play a certain difficulty level. There's Thompson Stew. Because honestly, I don't play the hardest difficulty level. I play the hardest standard difficulty level. But did the night end yet? Not yet, Killer Strawberry. How you doing, by the way? But I don't enjoy that difficulty level. I've messed around with it. I played, so they have the challenge mode called As the Dead Sleep, which was kind of inspired by the No One Gets Out Alive version of the game. And that version is very, very, very difficult. Can't believe we didn't find a pot in here at all. And that version of the game is very, very difficult as well. There's no, it's sort of the same where it has no health regen, it has no birch bark tea, but it has a goal to the game. It has a good goal where you're supposed to visit certain grave sites before you die. Hey, Mike Kiko, how you doing? Welcome on in, buddy. Yeah, my recipe was in the office there, which was weird. But I lived 100 days on that. I mean, I was pretty down by the end of that 100 days, but you know, I honestly can say I didn't have fun doing it. Because I had to be so like structured on everything I did. Like so structured on every move I made that it just wasn't a lot of fun for me. They're uploading the recipe to Facebook? Probably. So what we picked up, boys and girls, is the Thompson family stew, which is this one here. Takes a can of corn, which canned corn we only get in the bunkers during Signal Void, and at that we get very few of them, maybe 2 or 3 at the most. It also takes carrots, potatoes, mushrooms, broth, and old mill flour. So guess what the chances of us ever making Thompson's family stew is? 0. 0. It does give you more max stamina. It gives you the improved rest, and it does make you more tired. So it sort of acts like a rabbit stew, with the bonus of it giving you more max stamina, which, like, okay, it's going to make me more tired, so now you're going to give me max stamina as well. It does have a major vitamin C component, so you can argue that with the major vitamin C, that's kind of cool. Because the other stews, well, Ranger Stew has a moderate vitamin C, but again, it takes potatoes and carrots, so... Just gonna take these with my hands. Yeah, the corn is rare. Yeah, on different difficulties, that Thompson Stew is a viable option. But on Interloper, not so much. Like I said, most of the recipes on Interloper, they're kind of neat if you can make them, but the odds of you being able to make them are pretty low. I'm actually gonna eat that can of corn. Why not? Or a can of Pinnacle Peaches. Why not? Let's slug that down. All right, let's go ahead and harvest up Mr. Rabbity here. I don't think I'm gonna cook the rabbit right now. I want to search around a little bit before I do that, so. What's my lantern at right now? 0.31, yeah. It's getting low. It's getting low. Hopefully we'll find some lantern oil here at some point. Alright, let's go ahead and drop the... let's drop the rabbits and the guts. Let's go ahead. We're going to make this a temporary little base for us right now. We're going to drop that in here. Those in there. That in there. Oh, those were the fresh ones. Never mind. I dropped the ones that were already cured. What a ding-a-ling. Glad those things make a slappy noise when you put them in there. Alright. Let's go ahead and rip this jacket apart. I think maybe they should have a set amount of canned food on Interloper. It might be a bit more random which type you find. Yeah, I wish you could find corn outside of the bunkers. I know they wanted to make it like a special thing that you only got in the bunker, but it kind of makes it disappointing when you don't get any, you know, when you get a recipe like Thompson's Family Stew. Then there's actually 2 or 3 recipes that use corn as an ingredient for the recipe, and it's like you get Thompson's Family Stew, and you get those other ones. You're just kind of like, oh, it's kind of like, oh, I like it. It's like, okay, cool, I got that recipe. There's not much I can do with it, but I guess it's cool that I got the recipe. I have a distress pistol. I don't know how much use that we're going to get out of that. I'm just going to hang on to it. We'll keep that on us. Let's put the travois in here. Okay. We're at a decent weight now, so... let's go explore the rest of this village. It takes a village. Oh, by the way, Ath, remember you gave me advice for making a push into zone of contamination? Oh, yes, I did. How did that work out? Did you do okay, knowing a few of the things that you did? Everything perfectly set up? Okay, that's good. That's good. I sense a butt coming. I sense a butt coming. Uh-oh. Oh, as you leave. It's funny, Psychotic, you ate uncooked... oh, no. I've never done that. What? How foolish of you to do that. I've never done that ever before. Ever before. Never, ever have I... never, ever have I eaten raw bear meat going into zone of contamination, which happened just on my last run, Killer Strawberry. I did that... I literally did that just on my last run. I did the same exact thing. Well, hello, Mr. Wolfie boy. Do I have that... I have that rabbit meat on me. Son of a biscuit. There he is. We call him dinner. We call that wolf dinner. Woo! This mode is really dumb, like all customers where food cannot be eaten and clothing is off limits. Only bears can be eaten and water can only be consumed on Saturdays. On days that that do not end in Y. Ran home to my base in Mystery Lake with my tail between my legs. Sometimes knowing when to retreat, Killer Strawberry, is a very important thing. Knowing when to retreat and when to push forward can be a really important thing. Now, luckily for me, Psychotic Killer Strawberry, I had a whole thermos full of mushroom teas. They weren't on me, so I had to go get some more mushrooms and stuff, but I was able to make it through and stay in zone of contamination. but it was not a fun time. Let's just put it that way. It was not a fun time, but I have done the exact same thing before, so I would never throw you know, any sort of aspersions on you for doing it as well. It's something that happens to all of us eventually. All of us can go, yep, I've eaten raw meat before. Not a good thing to do. There's my matches. Those matches always seem to be there. If you're ever needing matches, come to this place here. There will usually be matches in this. I always seem to find matches on that shelf for some reason. There is quite a few mushrooms in the zone of contamination, but not enough to get you through 20 days of intestinal parasites. Not enough to get you all the way through, that's for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's better to be safe than sorry in a situation like that. Because you can do pretty good on the first, say, 10 days of having intestinal parasites. That last 10 days is rough, and it's mainly rough because your health is super low. Your maximum health is super low, and your we got some oats, and your stamina is super low,
No power
and you just have a hard time getting around anywhere, which just makes it tough. Just JJ here, how you doing? Thank you for the follow there. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate that, my friend. I hope you're having a grand day. But yeah, I wish they would. I wish they'd spread out the can. I wish they'd include the cans of corn in the other, you know, places in the game. I know why they didn't do it, because canned corn, if you're playing The Long Dark without Tales from the Far Territory, you don't have a chance to get canned corn at all, because you don't have a chance to get any of the recipes. You don't have a chance to do any of that sort of stuff. I'm good, but encountered a bug that crashed my game. Oh no, what bug did you run into? And did you report it? I hope you did. Oh, there's a piece of cloth. That's nice. So tell us what happened, JJ. I mean, I've run into a few bugs here and there, but nothing that crashed my game and made it so I couldn't play. I had one bug where I couldn't interact with anything, but I just reloaded the game and I was good to go. Oh, you got that bug as well? If you reload, it should clear itself up. That's one they do know of and they're working on. I actually know that they're working on that one, but yeah, I was carrying a moose back with a travois. I was about to go through a bleak inlet cave. I dropped it, but I couldn't pick it back up, and as soon as I opened my travois, it crashed. Oh no. Well, in that instance, I would try reloading, but sorry that happened to you. That sucks. The travois has been a rather buggy object ever since it was launched. Let's put it that way. It's been rather buggy as far as like the application of it. At least now the travois, as far as I know, does not disappear underneath the snow if you drop it, which was the really bad thing. Which was the really bad thing that was happening there for a while. That was so annoying. Because if you got on a really steep slope, it was like, you can't traverse this. The travois would be like, aha, see you later, and it would dip under the snow with all your stuff. Because you'd have to drop it. You couldn't move, you couldn't back up, you couldn't do anything. And you dropped it, and it would just be gone. And all your stuff would be gone too. Yeah, you can't leave it inside. You can't put it down inside at all. In that instance, I usually just drop it outside and it's all good. Hey, look, there's a... That would have been a nice coat early in the game for us. Is guns good in this game, or you don't find ammo, but bow's better because you can craft arrows? The revolver, I think of the two firearms, I think the revolver is worth it. The rifle is not. Once you have a bow and arrow, especially, the rifle's just not worth it. I've already left behind 2 rifles because they honestly aren't worth it. They weigh too much. The ammo's not reusable, you know, unless you go to the unless you go and craft more in Bleak Inlet or Blackrock. But you know, it's one of those where I don't find the rifle to be as viable as the bow. The bow's a lot easier to use. It's lighter. The ammo's easier to craft. All that sort of stuff. So I had never got that bug. Oh, the only bug I got was when it came out. Was when you went to a new region and your character was facing a random direction instead of straight, and that got fixed. Yeah, I had that before. That wasn't really game breaking, thank goodness. And hi, Copper Hamster, how you doing? Holds up a computer model. Point to where they hurt you. Point to where the computer model touched you. Yes, exactly. So yeah, for me, the rifle's great early game if you get one. It allows you to take big game down super quick. But even on lower difficulty levels, I would highly recommend you switch over to the bow. Number one, I think the bow, well, number one, if you ever want to play on Interloper, you better damn well get ready to use the bow, because that's the only thing you're going to have on Interloper. You're not going to have, even the flare gun is a rare, you can get a flare gun on Interloper, but it is so rare these days to get flare shells. Unless you go to Zone of Contamination, because most of the flare shells are now hidden in the Zone of Contamination. So unless you go there, you're not going to be getting a lot of flare shells. So you better get used to the bow, because that's going to be your main line of defense on Interloper. And so I highly encourage people who are playing on, say, you know, Stalker, to definitely, like, you start making forge runs, get used to going to the forge and getting a bow, because you're going to need to do it. Yeah, once you go to Zone of Contamination, will have about 8 or 9 flare shells in it. They scattered a few shells around the world, Killer Strawberry, but all of the other flare shells they put in Zone of Contamination for us. And you got to go into the zone. You have to go into the mines. You have to go through all the poison gas and stuff just to find them. And honestly, at that point in the game, the problem is that at that point in the game, I don't need them anymore. I have no need or use of those flare shells any longer, which is kind of sad. Flare shells were sort of the flare shells in Interloper were always kind of like an early game boost that you would get. You got the boost again. Nice, nice, JJ. Well, congratulations. Flare shells were always kind of that early game like thing that you could get that was going to help you out a lot, because it allowed you to maybe take a bear or a moose down early in the game. It allowed you to feel like you had a little bit of defense against bears and wolves and moose as well. So I never thought the flare gun was like a game breaker. I thought, and you know, I wouldn't mind it if they randomized it a little bit more. You know, you always knew in the old style of the game, you would always get a flare gun and 4 shells at the bottom of the ravine, and you'd get a flare gun and 8 shells at the summit. So in total, you would have 12 shells for the entire game, and 2 flare guns, basically. And then they added a 3rd flare gun to the Keeper's Pass region, which was kind of cool. You know, we got another flare gun there. It never, on Interloper, had any shells there that I ever found. But then they decided to take all that away and be like, nope, you don't get any more flare shells. So, boo. All right, we got 8 liters of water on us, which is nice, but we don't need that much water on us. So that's one thing I'm not really with them on. I'm not really with them on the on changing up how many flare shells we can find, or where we can find the flare shells. I wish they were a little more random, I guess. Having them all in, I would rather them not be in zone of contamination at all, and just, you know, have random flare shells scattered throughout the world. I think that would be a better, I think that would be a better way to do it. And it would sort of give you odds of maybe finding a flare shell per zone. They can even do something like that. There's enough zones now. Put one flare shell in every zone. Make it like a little scavenger hunt where it's like, you know, randomize 4 or 6 different spots in each zone that a single solitary flare shell can appear. I mean, I would go for that. I think that would be super cool. Because then I'd be like, cool, I got a flare gun. Now let's go find ourselves some flare shells. I could see a find the flare shell challenge being a thing. Yeah, if they guaranteed a flare shell per game, or per zone, people could actually do a challenge where let's collect all 12 flare shells from the 12 zones they spawn in, you know, something like that. That would be kind of neat. I'm kind of glad the game crashed. This moose had more meat. I got everything off of it. Unlike the first one where I only got 20 kilos of food before the wind got my fire. Well, see, it had a silver lining for you there, JJ. It had a silver lining for you there. The game was trying to help you, not hurt you. All right. Nice thing is we can break these crates down with our hands, baby. Oh, yeah. Let's go. This will give us a little fuel to cook up that wolf meat, cook up the rabbit pies. I guess so. Now I got all the guts and the hide and 39 kilos of meat. Nice. As much as this game wants us dead, I don't feel bad when it crashes in my favor. Exactly.
I can barely walk with this much of hair.
I know, darling. That's why we're gonna head back over here and go inside, cook up some meat, cook up some pies. We'll go to the church tomorrow. The church used to be a cool place to go to because there was a stash of stims in the church, but ever since they took that away from us, I'm like, I don't care about that stash anymore. You notice they've lowered the number of stims in the game on Interloper as well. Interloper does not have as many stims as it used to. So that's been another change they've made as well, which I'm totally fine with. So, you know, that I don't really, that doesn't bother me much. So I watched a new streamer yesterday, brand new to playing Interloper. It was so much fun watching his reaction to how the game was. Yeah, he did Interloper with no map knowledge. Yeah, that's tough. That's rough. Interloper is definitely a mode where even if you don't have map knowledge of every zone in the game, you want to have pretty good map knowledge for, I'd say, at least like half the zones or more, because it's gonna be rough if you don't. It's gonna be really rough if you don't. You were hauling directions to him as he was playing. Yeah, it can be hard to watch people who are not like familiar with the maps, but it's kind of fun too, because it's like I mean, honestly, if I could forget everything I know about the game and go back to a time where I didn't know, if I could re-experience this game, that would be so amazing. If I could re-experience this game for the first time again, it would honestly be such a joy to be able to do. You know, because the game just has. There's just so much. I mean, it's taken me 7 years plus now to get to the point where I am in the game and feel comfortable with a lot of the stuff in the game. And it'd be so much fun to go back to those early days and like unlearn a bunch of the stuff I've learned. So, baseball bat? No baseball bats. No. Do I have anything else I want to cook in here? I'll cook up one more herbal tea. Yeah, exactly. They can be very entertaining watching somebody who's new to the game. It really, truly can. I think I'm just gonna cook these potatoes up. I have no. I'm not gonna really ever do anything with these potatoes. Oh, I have that porridge I can make too. But I can't make it anything but a cooking pot, so. I can make another couple rabbit pies as well. Hey, James, how's it going? Throw a tater on the stove. Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Yeah, that is right, Killer Strawberry. It's fun to watch somebody like that who's new to it, because it's like going back. We can reminisce and remember when we had none of that knowledge too. I'm doing good. Stream's going well. We are down here. We're heading towards Coastal Highway right now. We're down at Thompson's Crossing. We're just kind of getting some food gathered up. We searched the town. We're getting our rabbit pies made. We got our potatoes baked. And I'm just making up a bunch of rabbit pie because it's like, why not? It's the best use of rabbit that we'll do, so. I forgot that these got hot, and we just found another thing of, we found another thing of flour. So we've got lots of flour on us now. We've got lots of salt on us. We got a little bit of oil, but you don't use up much oil when you make stuff, so. I remember when I first played and found climbing socks, but traded them for wool socks because I didn't know that you could repair clothing. Yep. Oh, I remember doing the same sort of things. Okay, so we still got a little bit of meat there. That's great. All right, let's grab a torch here. See, we got a bunch of stuff in here too. That's the other consideration we have to take in. So we have a bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, climbing socks get you a 1 degree warmth bonus when you fully repair them, whereas sports socks are 0.25. Or they're like 0.25 degrees, and the wool socks are only half a degree. So yeah, the climbing socks give you double what the wool socks. Basically, 1 pair of climbing socks is the equivalent of 2 wool socks. So you're quadrupling you're getting way more warmth out of 2 pairs of climbing socks if you can get them. But of course, on Interloper, all we have are the crappy wool socks, you know. But they're better than sports socks at least. So we got that going for us. And then I swapped out. I found an aviator cap, so we swapped out for that because the aviator cap is slightly better than the rabbit cap. Downside to the aviator cap is it takes leather to repair. The upside of the aviator cap is that it's much more resistance to damage than the rabbit skin gear. So there's positives and negatives to it. And honestly, I found so much. I found so much leather. I have like 25 leather stored up at the abandoned prepper cache right now. Which, by the way, there we go. By the way, you notice in my journal how it takes so long to load? Well, it did last time. But it took so long to load that first time because it has to calculate every area we've been to in one day. Although we've been alive for 105 days. It doesn't keep track of days like a normal game does. Because it's the endless night mode, so I find that kind of humorous. Kind of humorous there. Alright, let's get that done. I don't think I can make any more. No, I cannot. Yum, yum. Alright, so we got 12 rabbit pies now. That is awesome. They have to make rabbit socks at some point where you got the rabbit ears sticking out for style. They're like little rabbit footies. Like little rabbit slippers. That would be cute. I don't know if I'd wear them though. I'm not against footy clothing. I just never found it to be very comfortable. That's weird. You can't put anything. Oh, you can put it there. Okay. One problem for me watching a newbie is I gotta resist being a backseat driver. Yeah, exactly. It's very. You have to control your urge to give them basically to basically give everything to them. You have to control that urge quite a lot. Let's move all that to inventory. All right, so now we're at 58 kilos. That's fine. If they had more warmth bonus, I'd wear them. Of course I would. Of course I would. I'm not ashamed to say that. If you get rabbit socks, you should be allowed to jump. You then have a small vertical. You have a small vertical leap. I wish I could break this down. There's a cabinet over here. There's also a cabinet over here. I don't know. That fire might be enough. Yes, it is. Oh, look at that. Nothing in it, but hey, it was enough. It was enough. All right, so I do have a lot of wood. I got 8 of those. Let's drop those here. There we go. Let's drop the cedar here. No, let's drop the cedar here. And then let's drop the sticks as well, because I have a book to start a fire with. I'm even going to drop this coal, because we're going to get a crap ton of coal in the mine between Pleasant Valley and Coastal Highway. That's just how that place rolls. We're going to leave the water here. Alright, we're actually good weight now, so we can probably take some stuff on with us. Perfect. And we're also tired. That's the most... We're using the Darkwalker feat, which makes it a lot harder for us to get tired in this game mode. a lot harder to get tired. So seeing myself nice and tired is a good thing, because now we can go ahead and get a little bit of sleep and get a little bit of our health back. Yum, yum. Let's eat these carrots up. Drink a little agua. Get a little sleep. There we go. That should hopefully revitalize our health. We should hopefully have most of it back by morning. Hey, look at that. We're at 100%. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and eat this carrot. I'm just going to eat down some of this random food we have. Eat the baked potato. Drink some water. Because today we go to Coastal Highway. We do have that nice running river oats now, which is very nice. You can make porridges out of that with just some water and that. It makes a porridge that's actually quite tasty and healthy, and it's good for you too. It makes you, it adds a little fiber to your diet, which will help you poo a little bit. So, you know, there's nothing like a non-pooing Astrid to be, you know, to make us a little cranky. And we don't want Astrid to be cranky, so let the poo go. Let it go, let it go. We've got some stump remover as well. I'm gonna use up one of my blue flares here. I'm gonna leave this stump remover here. That has been happening. The multiple sticks have been happening for a while. I don't think that's a new or recent bug. That, as far as I know, that's been going on for a little while now, Killer Strawberry. Usually I don't find 4, but I quite often will find 2. I don't know if I can light a torch in this weather. So yeah, that's something that has been going on in the game for a little bit. Are there auroras in Endless Night? Oh yeah. Yep, we've actually had quite a few auroras so far. I don't think there's as many. I don't think I've had as many as like a regular game does, but we have had them, so. I sort of want to go to the cave behind here, which takes us a little bit out of our way to go to Coastal Highway, but I also want to check out this truck real quick, because we never did. There's not usually a lot in here, but you know what? You always want to check every vehicle, because you never know when you'll find a box of matches in the glove box or something like that. There we go. If we do the towers, can we get endless auroras? No, actually, I've already done one tower, Cindy, and it popped an aurora that lasted like 7 or 8 game hours and then just went away. So.
No power in the verse can stop me.
Excuse me, Wolfie. Mr. Wolfie, excuse me. Sorry, my brother just texted me, so I had to text him back real quick. All right. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. He's running away. Thank you for the follow there, the snake. 601, thank you for the follow. Do you think some sort of vehicle would ruin the experience? I think so, yeah. I think a vehicle or fast travel would make this game less than what it is. I think the lack of vehicles is what The lack of being able to travel fast makes this game have a extra sense of danger to it. Because there is no getting anywhere fast. You can't just you know, jump in and do something real quick. Have you ever found stuff in the visors of the trucks? No.
Come on, little
I have never found anything in the visor of a truck. Ever. So yeah, unfortunately, I have never found anything in the visor, so. No Atheenon, I'm confused. What? What about skies or something for skis for like a slight speed boost? I don't really like the idea of anything that makes travel easier in the game. I just don't like the idea of that. There are mementos in the visors. I'm talking about actual, like, loot. I've never found, I mean, I've heard rumors that way back in the day, there were candy bars or something that you could possibly get in car visors. I've personally never found any. The mementos are a relatively new thing, and those aren't random. Those are fixed to certain cars. Will have a memento note in them sometimes. Because, like, on the Interloper, there are memento notes that do not appear. But, yeah, as far as, like, actual loot goes, I've never found any actual stuff in the car visors. I flip them just to do it. Sometimes I'll open the gas cans because I'm feeling randy that day. And I'll be like, look at me, I'm going to stick it to them. I'm going to open their gas cans, let water get in there, and ruin their gasoline. You know, I'm a big rebel that way. Looks like a lot of cars and trucks and tractors in the game stopped working long before the Aurora started. Most likely due to lack of fuel. Plum Bob with the 66 beautiful months. And hi, Mrs. Pac-Man. Hear me out, you get to ride a moose. You have to tame the moose and then you can ride him. That's probably going to be a mod at some point. 5.5 years. Thank you for the 5.5 year resub there, Plum Bob. Appreciate that very, very much, my friend. Let's get a little fire started here. We grabbed a couple pieces of coal. Might as well grab a few more torches. He's been subscribed for like 5 years. Yes. Yes, 5 years. Years. Count them.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
Don't count them a different way though. Always start from the outside. Don't start from the inside because that could be bad. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, then you don't know what I mean. All right. Hey, Xanax, how you doing? All right, let's go ahead and destroy these couple of torches here. Well, James, I like the idea of riding a moose. I don't know how well that would actually work in game, though. I don't know how well that would actually work in game. That's a tough one. That's a toughie. What about riding a bear? We've talked about taming wolves for companions for a long time. It'd be tricky though. It would have to be something that you'd have to do over a long period of time, and I don't think you could actually have the wolf be very much other than maybe he'd be some warmth while you sleep. and he maybe would warn you if there were bad things that were nearby. You have to become a musketeer first. And it would give you a little story. You could put a little satchel over the back of the back of the wolf. He could be your carrier. And you'd have to feed him or he eats you. There'd have to be some pretty negatives if you don't do it right. Long dark meets Icarus, yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, long dark meets Icarus, that would be interesting. Wow. It is really storming out there, ain't it? That's a storm out there, boys and girls. Okay, well. Used to go hiking with my dog like that. He would carry like 10 kilos. And they could also, you know, dogs warn you of danger that's around. They usually have a pretty good sense of what's going on around you. And if you've trained them well, too, then they even have a better sense of it. All right, we got our torch. Let's see. That's coffee and rose hips. Okay, so we got coffee and rose hip tea. How much is it worth to save cooking ingredients? Like, are there good recipes for potatoes? And there's not enough on Interloper's Annex. It's not worth it to me to carry them around on Interloper. I usually cook up the potatoes and eat the carrots when I find them. Because for me, it just isn't worth it. You know, it's definitely worth it to, you know, pick up the running river oats. It's definitely worth it to I actually have a lot of flour on me right now. It's definitely worth it to carry the flour and the oil so you can make up pies. Fish cakes are great, but on Interloper, they're worthless. I mean, I'm never going to I will never make fish cakes on Interloper. I might make stalker pie, and I'll definitely make prepper's pie when it comes down to it. But the ingredients for fish cakes, it's just, for what you get out of it, on Interloper, it's something you'd have to plan to do. And so for me, I just don't find it to be very useful. I know everybody thinks fish cakes are the greatest thing around, and yes, calorie-wise, they're awesome, but good luck getting all the ingredients and being able to make more than, I don't know, you might find enough potatoes and carrots to make fish cakes 6 or 7 or 8 times at the very most, and you're gonna have to cover every zone in the game to find that many. But you know, if you can, it's a great, you know, they are really good. I'm not discounting that they're not good. They're just not, in Interloper, they're just not, to me, very useful, just from the standpoint that you can't get the ingredients as easily. I once travoyed 40 kilos of rainbow trout. Now that's some dedication, JJ. That is some dedication there. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. But see, that's the glorious thing about Interloper. That's the glorious thing about Long Dark in and of itself, is no matter what, it's your game to play however you want to play it. If you want to travoy 40 kilos of rainbow trout across the world to make fish cakes, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Good for, you know, more power to you, and have fun. You know, have fun with it. I mean, that's what this game's all about, is you having fun and doing wild and wacky things, and that's what I love about it. Let's grab our pies. That'll attract the wolves, and let's get out of here. I gave you guys night vision. I am not seeing that. I'm still seeing this right here. But I gave you guys night vision. So there you go. The worst part, I got home and died before I used a single one. Oh no! Risk versus reward, my man. Risk versus reward. That's what this game teaches you a lot. It teaches you that for every action, there's an equal and opposite and probably really bad reaction. My one dream is to fish for like a week. See, you know, Xanax, that would be my dad really loved fishing. I personally could not stay. I found fishing to be extremely boring. It just was not for me. I'm not a fisherman. My dad, he loved fishing. He could have gone out for a month and fished if he wanted, you know. He could have done that for a month if he had his druthers. I once had a run where I fished out on Coastal Highway, and I think I probably had over 150 fish sitting out on the lake that I had caught. I gave him a chance to straighten out. Just died recently in that mapping challenge of mine. Any spots for cooking pots and Desolation Point? Sometimes you'll find one in the lighthouse, but not very frequently. Usually you have to get to Coastal Highway before you can find a cooking pot. I've generally not found cooking pots in Desolation Point. I'm not saying they don't appear there ever, but it's a small possibility you'll find one. I don't think they're in the Riken for sure, and the church won't have any. Katie's Secluded Corner won't have any, nor will the mine. Your best bets are Hibernia and the lighthouse. Those would be the two spots that you'd probably have the greatest chance of finding them. And Hibernia is probably not the most likely. Although you'll get matches in Hibernia, that's always nice. And if you grab the memo I think the memo's is the memo and the key at the Riken? I think it's at the Riken. If you grab the memo and the key there, or at the lighthouse, there's a memo in that zone, and if you grab that memo before you go to Hibernia, you can open the lockbox and get like 3 or 4 blue flares out of it. You found a skillet in the lighthouse. Well, there you go. The memo's at the captain's. Okay, it's up in the captain's perch there. Okay. So if you get that memo before you go to Hibernia, you can have a few blue flares, which will allow you to light fires as well, and that saves you matches, which I always find it's really good in the early game, like for your very first fire, if you can light it with a flare, because it always seems that my first fire I light in the game usually takes me like 3 or 4 tries before I actually get a fire going, and that's usually 3 or 4 matches out of my bundle that are just gone. So if I can use a flare, I usually only have to use 1 flare. Even if it's a blue flare, it's only 1 flare, and I've got a fire going. Then I can grab some torches, and then I'm lighting fires with torches from then on. So that'll save you a ton of matches over the lifespan of your game. It doesn't seem like it. It's one of those. It's one of those things that it exponentially adds up over time, because you know you never know how many times it's going to take you to light a fire before you get to fire making 5. You don't know if you're going to fail or not, even if you have a 70-80% chance. And so by using a torch, you're basically giving yourself a 100% chance with a single match to light a fire every single time. And that just exponentially adds up over time to where you just start having more and more matches. I mean, we left behind in the farmhouse over 100 matches, and we still have 66 matches on us right now. So, I mean, that's a lot of matches. Oh, Planet Crafter's such a fun game, Mrs. Honeypot. I might actually play. I usually don't stream on Wednesday, but I'm taking tomorrow off to go down to see my son at college, and I may stream on. I may do some like Planet Crafter on Wednesday or something. That'd be kind of fun. do a little Planet Crafter. Usually I do Planet Crafter on Tuesdays, so. I right now. Oh, are you asking Mrs. Honeypot? For me personally, on my Planet Crafter, I am, I think approaching full water, full lake stage. I think I'm approaching full lake stage. Now, one nice thing about this little tunnel here is this tunnel has a ton of coal, first of all. And there's also a stem in here as well. Alright, so I go down either path. This is the shorter path. Both of those paths can have coal on them. Or maybe, oh yeah, this is the shorter path that leads us down here, where the stem is. Nice. So the stem in here moves around, and there's another hacksaw, stem, toolbox. Now that other path comes out right over there. I'm actually going to jump this. Boop, and just pop over here real quick. Pick up the coal up here. I restarted because I got totally lost. Yeah, they've changed that game a ton. I mean, it's changed just in the time that, you know, just in a little bit of time that I haven't played it. So it's been so fun to see what they've done to it, Mrs. Honeypot. This is the mine, Xanax, that goes between Pleasant Valley and Coastal Highway. In this mine, you will be able to pick up close to 40, if not between 40 and 50 pieces of coal. Plus, it usually has pretty decent loot in it, too. We already got a toolkit and another hacksaw, which I will basically break both of those down here, just to get the metal from them, which actually is not a bad idea to do right about now. And you also just get that ton of coal. You can use the coal from this mine to fuel like 2 days worth of fishing out on the lake, which is awesome. Finally got the moose home, yay! Yes, I will say, JJ, that the Travois has just made moose and bear transportation so much easier now. Or some forging. How long forging? Oh god, you could do days worth of forging off of all the coal you get in this place. Of course, I'd have to carry all that coal all the way over to Desolation Point, which means I'd sacrifice a lot of items to get that coal to that location. I have no water on me. That's wild. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna build this. Can I build a fire here? No, I can't. I can't start a fire in here. Gosh dang it. It's so weird how some of the caves you can start fires in, and this one is not one of them. I don't know why. I wish there was a fire barrel in this middle room here. That would be super, super duper awesome. If they put a fire barrel in here. Well, it would let us use this workbench as well, which would be nice. This is a man-made mine. That is true. That is true. So there's probably no ventilation or anything like that. So that is a very, very good point. So we did get a fourth stem in here. This is one of the places that still has like a guaranteed stem in it. I don't know where they moved the Ash Canyon stem and the stem in Forlorn Muskeg. I have no idea where they moved those, or if they just removed them completely from the game. But those stems I haven't seen in a long time, and it makes me kind of sad. I once hunted 2 bears with a travois and left nothing behind. Very slowly, even with the sled. Were you able to, like, chop the bear meat up and take it home that way? Because usually, you gotta remember also, if you put bags in the travois, they waste twice as much as they normally would. If you chop the meat up. So if you chop the meat up, that that meat will weigh, 25 kilos of bear meat is 25 kilos. If you don't chop it up, that's 50 kilos of bear meat. Or 50 kilos of weight. When you hunt with the travoids, you just whack it over their head to kill them. Well, it is supposed to be a coal mine. Probably not wise to start a fire that could burn the walls. You got a point. You got yourself a point there. I'll give you that. I'll grant you that. I mean, we're only at 66 kilos right now. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Whew! The double sneeze. At least I have 2 points, one on each end. One on each hand. Is coal dust highly combustible? I know that dust in silos is highly combustible. Like dust in like a silo, like a wheat silo, can be very, very highly combustible. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken on that. I think those can actually explode silos sometimes. If they do, they have things that make it so it doesn't happen, but there's been incidences where it's done it before. Because there's like a fine particulate that starts accumulating or something. Hey, Heinrich, how you doing? We are going to we are right now going to Coastal Highway. I don't have Apple TV. I have like hardly any services at all. I have Amazon Prime because I have an Amazon Prime account to get stuff shipped to me, and I have Netflix, and that's it. Everything else. Well, I do have Paramount Plus right now. Is it Paramount? I have the one that has Survivor and Amazing Race on it, and I'll cancel that once those are over for the season. Because I always do that. The Great London Fire was started by flour in a bakery catching... Now, Mrs. Honeypot, we all know that the Great London Fire was started by Doctor Who. Come on. We saw that in Doctor Who, how the Great London Fire actually started. It was because the Zygons were trying to take over the city, and he set fire to something in one of their places, and it caught all the stuff around them on fire as well. Their technology exploding caused the fire. Come on now. We all know that. The granary, the grain catching fire was just a smokescreen that the government invented to cover up the alien visitation. Come on now. I love Doctor Who so much. Remember 60 Minutes once did a piece about a coal mine that caught fire, and it's still burning to this day. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, that stuff burns hot. So how much coal did we get? 43 coal. 43. And we got a few sticks, too, so that's always nice. 43 coal. I don't think I can... Oh, I can start a fire here. I can start... Oh, that's weird. It wasn't even letting me do it before. That is so strange. That's so weird. Well, it's in a situation like that, Kenneth. How are you going to put it out? You know, that would be the thing. Is like, okay, so what do we do to put this fire out? You can't. I mean, unless you find a way to like smother it completely. Like if it was down in a hole and you could just dump water on top of it till it had no air. You know, you basically have to starve it of oxygen. But when is that going to happen? How are you going to go about that? Yeah, that'd be wild. All right, we got a can. We got a pan. We got the can and the pan. Let's go to town, boys and girls. Yumiko, how are you doing? Hello, hello. I hauled coal for power plants. I would take the dust of them, they would use it like gunpowder to light the boilers. Damn, Mike, that's odd. That's pretty awesome to hear about. That's pretty cool. So basically, it was like Tinder. They'd just be like, Tinder, boom. Which is better, forge or technical backpack? It's a very long way. Which is better, the forge or the technical backpack? It's a long way to Ash Canyon. Personally, I'd go for the forge first and then the technical backpack. If you got to make a choice. I mean, Ash Canyon though, I can live in Ash Canyon with no weapons and no, no bedroll easily. So, I'm a little bit prejudiced on that whole zone. $57. We are unburdened for the moment. Let's unburden ourselves a little bit more. But I love Ash Canyon as well. Ash Canyon, to me, I've never found that to be a zone that I feared or that I didn't want to go to. Early on, it was a little scary. Especially, you got to remember, back when they originally released Ash Canyon, none of the outdoor caves were warm. All of the outdoor caves were completely cold. Oh, from DP, I mean getting anywhere while mapping all locations is slower. Oh yeah, getting anywhere from there is getting anywhere from Desolation Point is kind of slow, you know, and mapping stuff is always slow. Waiting for the dev diary? Well, cross our fingers. Hopefully it'll be very, very soon, Yumiko. I think it's coming to us pretty quick. There's no smoking or open flame around the mine. I can imagine. I would imagine a lot of the workers there like chew tobacco. They use chewing tobacco to get their nicotine fix. Well, they'll probably use like Zyn or, you know, something like that nowadays, but yeah, they would. I would imagine they would have to regulate that a lot, because otherwise they would, you know, basically go boom. Or snuff. Yep, or snuff. There, that's an old school thing. A lot of people don't even know what snuff is anymore. Oh, there's one right there. Hello, Wolfie. I know you're over here somewhere. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on here, puppy pupper, 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 pupper. No, come back with my arrow, you bastard. Oh god, I shot too late. Dang it. That did not work out like I wanted. And he ran off with my arrow. Oh, that just pains my freaking soul. My father used to use Skull. You thought the dev diary is coming today? I have no idea. I mean, I've been saying for a month now that we're due a dev diary pretty damn soon. Haven't seen one yet though. Have not seen one yet, unfortunately. Okay, we at least know he's down that path somewhere. That's good. That's good news. That's good news. You know, they went birds in or carried them in check for gas back in the. Oh yeah. I mean, before they had like, you know, meters that could read all that stuff. They use birds and stuff like that, you know, they use birds to tell them if they were gonna die or not. Feels like they've slowed in development. It's May already. Well, I'm sure they're hard working on stuff. I mean, they've got, you got to remember, so this year, basically, we're looking at this year being, you know, the final parts of Tales from the Far Territory, Perseverance Mills, and Chapter 5. And they've gotten very, over the years, Hinterland has become very shy about giving too many details away too early, because then they receive a whole bunch of backlash from people if it's delayed at all. So they've just become very, very cautious about giving too much information away, which I don't blame them at all. I'd be the same exact way. And I think the third and fourth quarter of this year, we're gonna see a lot of content come out from them. I just have this feeling we're gonna see a lot of stuff coming out for them. Yeah, and that's the thing. I want them to promise less and deliver more too. You know, because they've, you know, this was their first DLC, and I will admit they've made a lot of missteps with this DLC, as far as like promising a lot, not really delivering as much as they promised. Oh Jesus Christ, me really? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Yeah, I figured it would not be done. Yeah, and they're stretching themselves, especially since I know they're trying to develop a new game. They said that they got new plans, new games in mind. So they definitely are trying to develop something new. So I'm using coal as fuel for fire fuel. Is that angry interloper players? Hell no. I use coal is the ultimate fuel. If you have a choice to carry anything around, you want to carry cedar and coal. Those are the two best fuel sources in the game. Cedar for lighting the fire, and coal for building it up and making it hot. Sticks are great, but sticks are not as good as cedar. The same number of sticks, if you carry, so cedar gives you an hour of fire, you know, roughly an hour of fire, and it gives you a 6 degrees of warmth. The sticks, for the same amount of warmth, you have to carry 6 sticks, and that gives you the same amount of time and warmth, but it weighs more. Well, heck, you can look at this. A cedar weighs a half a kilo. 4 sticks will already weigh 0.6. So they weigh more for the same amount of time and warmth on the fire. And then, of course, coal is just the ultimate badass of fire making. Coal is just the coal is the hold my beer of firewood. Of fuel source, I should say. It's not firewood. But yeah, it's the hold my beer of fuel. I would bet half the team is working on the new game. Raph shared that short video with the watermark that says unannounced Hinterland survival game pre-alpha. Yeah, I would imagine half their team's working on that. And we gotta remember, you know, Long Dark they've been working on now for what, 11 years? They're going into their 11th year. And Long Dark, other than the DLC, Long Dark is kind of on the wind down. They have the last chapter of the story mode to put out. They've got a little bit more of Tales from the Far Territory to put out. But it's definitely winding down over time. And honestly, you know, you never know. Maybe they're working on another DLC now for Long Dark, but they're working on it in conjunction with everything else. And the next time they put out a DLC, it's going to be a fully formed DLC instead of a sort of a we are working on it as we go along DLC. Which I honestly, in my humble opinion, I think it was a mistake on their part to make a DLC, to call it a DLC. They should have released small little parts of it and charged for those as we went along, instead of charging for the whole thing at once. That's just my opinion. They could have made 3 DLCs and charged, say, $7.99 per DLC and had them complete at time of dropping them. And I think people would have been way happier with that than buying the whole thing at once and then having it, you know, come out over a year and a half, 2 years worth of time. It wasn't, in my opinion, the best way to go about doing it. And I just think they could have maybe they could have done it where they released the first part that had a lot of stuff in it and done that for $9.99, and then over the next period had 2 more DLCs that were $5.99 each or $7.99. They could have maybe even made some more money on it if they wanted to, because they could have said like, well, this is the first part of the Tales from the Far Territory Part 1. It's a $10 DLC. Tales from the Far Territory Part 2 is another $5. Tales from the another $5 one for the last one. And that would have given them, I think, a little more flexibility as far as what they, could promise and deliver. And I think people would have been a little bit, they wouldn't have gone after him as hard, I guess. But new DLC, Tales from the Close Territory. Tales from the Close Territory. Yes, indeed. The Long Dark is a mature product. Well, it is. I mean, it's just, it was their first DLC. I think they made some mistakes. And honestly, I think they've done, and I always tell people who come to the chat who whine about it, or whine that it's taking too long, or, or like they're disappointed. I shouldn't say whine. They're disappointed that it's taking longer than it was initially promised to get the stuff that we're getting. But I always try to tell them, you know what? I've never felt Hinterland has always delivered on everything it has promised us. Hinterland has always delivered on everything I felt that it has promised me, as far as content, as far as product that they have delivered. They've never shied away from going through great lengths to give us the product. So until they prove me different, I'm gonna believe that they're gonna eventually get me all the product that I've purchased, and all that they promised in that product that I purchased. And until they let me down in that way, I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm not gonna bash them. I'm not gonna, talk smack about them. I'll criticize them. I'll always criticize. I mean, I think criticism is a great way. Criticism is a good thing. Everybody needs to be, you need to be critical of things and point out, when you're disappointed in something or feel like you aren't getting your money's worth or whatever it is. You have to point that out. But at the same time, there's a difference between criticizing and just bashing people. Redacted. You like to poke the bear with Raph, don't you? You like to poke the bear there with Raph. Hey, you notice Redacted how much less he has been on social media lately, as far as doing stuff like that. I mean, you notice how he's not been on social media a lot. They've got their social media manager taking care of stuff like that. So, well, and JJ, as a fan of The Long Dark for many, many years, when I started playing The Long Dark back in 2017, there were 6 zones in the game. There's now double that plus. There's now over double that. And most of that was all free. The game doubled with free content since I started playing it in 2017. So, since 2017 when I started playing, it went from 6 to 12 zones, without even counting the Tales from the Far Territory. So right there, I already got my money's worth. I mean, and for years I was begging them to release something I could purchase. I mean, I bought the soundtracks, I bought stuff from their merchandise store, I bought the game, I bought the game for other players and gave the game away to people. So for me, it's like they over the years have given me way more than I ever paid for. I think I paid $20 originally for the game, and I have gotten my $20 worth 1,000 times over since then. So I started playing a few weeks before the DLC came out. Yeah, and see, and the game at that point is pretty much complete. So, people are upset about new DayZ announcement being a new map. Can't make everyone happy. Like 9 people from Bohemia Interactive working on DayZ these days. They should be happy they just didn't abandon it. Yeah. Exactly. Imagine how little the game costs per hour. Oh, God. For the 6,000... So, if you think in total of all the money I've spent on Long Dark, just on the game itself, for the 6,000, say 800 hours I have in it, I've spent probably $50 total. So if you take my $50 and you divide it by my 6,800 hours, I've basically spent 0.007 cents per hour playing this game. There's the wolf. I knew the wolf was gonna be around here somewhere. That little bugger up there has my arrow in him. So yeah, at less than a penny an hour. That's pretty good. That's pretty good money. That's pretty good. There's a lot of games that I barely got, you know, $1 an hour out of. You know, I've spent more than $1 an hour playing. Okay, can I get up here? Thank you, Astrid. Learn to step over a snowbank, darling. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the cheapest entertainment known to man. Of course, you know I have to pay for my internet and my computers and all that sort of stuff too, but that's pretty cheap. That's pretty damn cheap entertainment. All right, Mr. Wolf, you are going to be harvested and ate. There are a lot of great games these days that get abandoned and just left for dead, for sure. And there's certain games that, you know, like Stranded Deep, which were just, that was just a cash grab game. And same thing with Subnautica Below Zero. Those both, to me, just felt like cash grabs. Well, Stranded Deep for the reasons I've gone over many times, how they just abandoned the game. But, you know, a game like Subnautica Below Zero, just the way they marketed it, sold it, changed it, it just, you know, there's game, well, and something like Wild West Dynasty felt like a cash grab as well, sort of banking on the medieval dynasty goodwill to get people to get into it. Was kind of crappy as well, but you know that's gonna happen. And it just is what it is. I call it Subnautica below expectations, JJ. I have no animosity towards it. Yeah, I need to get back to Escape the Pacific. We're actually going to get back to that this Sunday. We're going to play some Escape the Pacific, which in my opinion is a far superior ocean survival game than Stranded Deep is. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I mean, I played Below Zero up until the point where about 90% of it was on land. So no longer was it Subnautica, it was above water Nautica. And I just didn't like the way it played. I thought I've gone over my reasons against Subnautica many times. Subnautica Below Zero. Speaking of which, Subnautica is one of the best survival games you'll ever find out there. It's amazing. And I highly recommend it. But Below Zero, no. Don't even waste your time. Unless you can get it for free. And then I wouldn't even waste my time. I don't know. Maybe they'd have to pay me to play that game. Do I have any thoughts on the Trader? I'm worried about it, Yumiko. I'm worried. I don't know how I feel about them having another, basically like an NPC in the game. Even if it's an NPC you never meet, or anything like that. I just don't know about that. What do I think about Zach? Style Zach Nefron? Flying Crowbar? Oh, he's a complete total asshole. And please clip that and send that to Zach. Zach will find that absolutely hilarious. No, Zach Nefron is a great guy. Zach Nefron is an amazing dude. He is a great ambassador for the Long Dark. He's a good friend, actually. We chat every once in a while. He's a very humble, cool dude. I mean, even though I've told him multiple times, whenever he makes a clip video or something, he still comes by and is like, hey, I'm gonna make a clip video. Is it okay? Is it still okay if I use some of your clips in my clip video? And I was like, dude, you got You got permission now until the day I die to use my clips, bro. You use whatever you want. You put stuff in your videos of me, I don't care. You know, I love you, bro, and you use whatever you want. So, yeah, Styles Atkins just all around is just a cool dude. So, I love his attitude towards the game. I love how he plays. I've watched a lot of his videos. He makes a lot of good like tutorial type videos as well. Highly recommend anybody who's on YouTube or Twitch. There, I'll throw up his link real quick. There we go. That throws it up on Twitch, but I'll throw it up over here on the YouTube side as well. There's a link to his channel. Everybody go give him a follow, give him a sub over there on his channel. But no, I love him, Flying Crowbar. He's a great guy. He's really awesome. So, he does a lot of cool like experimentation. I think that's one of the things I really like about him, because I like to experiment in this game too. I like to do little science experiments and see how things function sometimes. And he likes to do that too. So we sort of are kindred spirits in a way there. Yes, his compilations are really great. His compilations are really good. And I've been in quite a few of his compilations. I'm happy to have been able to contribute and, you know, help out with some of them. So his a great challenger, I think. I'm not sure what you mean as far as a great challenger. Oh, are you talking about the newest series he has? Because I think he's got a new series going on his channel right now, doesn't he? I haven't had a lot of time to watch any YouTube at all lately. Let's see, what does he have going on right now? Is he doing the Road to 500 Days? Is that still the same one he's doing right now? I know he was playing Pacific Drive there for a while, and is that the Stalker one that he's doing? The Stalker Winter Survival? Because yeah, the 500 day one, the Road to 500 Days, that was one that was one I watched, and that was really cool to watch him play that. So yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff on his channel. Go give him a follow, everybody. Been watching his Pacific Run Drive, nice, or Pacific Drive Run, Pacific Run Drive. Words are difficult, boys and girls. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. Words are hard. Let's go ahead and drop some of this dead weight out here. Literally dead weight. And then let's eat that. Now, because we're here, we're going to go ahead and go back to the mine real quick and grab our... we're going to go back there and grab our... actually, do I need any of this stuff on me? No. We're going to grab the coal that's there. God, words again are hard. My brain is like, I'm having slight little seizures here, I guess. Let's go ahead and... yeah, let's go ahead and use the temporary storage. I don't think... I wonder if I can deploy this here. No, I can't. I have to go downstairs. Okay. I was like, I wonder if I can deploy that here. Actually, you know what? That's what we can do. That's what we can do. No, I have things go. I have a lot on my mind right now. I've got a lot on my mind right now. I don't know why. I got a song. You know when you get a song like stuck in your head and it like takes up your thoughts? I tend to I'm a bit obsessive compulsive. And when something like a song gets in my head or something like that, it'll cloud my thoughts in a way that drives me nuts, you know. But it makes it so it's hard for me to verbalize things sometimes. Because right now I hear the song in my head right now. It's like in my brain right now. And there's no getting rid of it. So, yep. It's a song by a band called Skillet. It's called Not Gonna Die Tonight. Great song. Oh god, I just love Skillet's music. It's all just like majorly like workout music. It's music I listen to while I work out because it makes you just go. But Not Gonna Die Tonight, I just have that stuck in my head right now. It's a great song. Wonderful song. Oh, Skillet's got some great beats. And I love the harmonization between the drummer gal, I think her name's Jen, and their lead singer. The harmonizing between him and her, their voices just go together so good. They got good songs about great cooking recipes. I never thought of it that way, Killer Strawberry, but that's it. Skillet, we got the best songs about the best recipes. Aw, yeah. I think the thing I like about Skillet too is, yes, they are technically a Christian rock band. You wouldn't know it though. It's not like praise music or anything like that. It's not like typical like what you'd think of as like Christian music. Their music does have a message. It's not really. It's not overtly out there all the time. But the thing I like about it even more than that is 90% of their music has got a very positive vibe to it. It's like good positive music. It doesn't ever bring me down. It always like makes me kind of just like, yes, you know, it kind of gives you that sort of uplift that you need during the day sometimes. So I really appreciate that about their stuff. Oh wow, that did really not weigh us down that much. I was thinking we were going to need the Travoy out here, but we don't. Because that didn't even weigh us down. That didn't even put us over max weight. Boom, we're good. We're good. Christian rock peep with Striper. I listened to Striper back in the day. Yeah, it's more positivity than religion. It really, truly is. I mean, if you want to deep dive into Skillet's music, you'll see the messages that they have in there, where they're sort of celebrating their faith. They're celebrating, you know, all that sort of stuff. But it's not. It's a good example of not everything has to be right on the nose. You don't have to beat people over the head with whatever message you're trying to do to have something that's good. And if they want to listen into the message, great. If they don't, they can still enjoy it. And I know a lot of people who are not, you know, Christians who enjoy Skillet just because it's good music. And that's the thing, is if you have a good something in the beginning, the message can be there or not be there, and those that want to hear it will hear it, and those that don't, they won't, and it doesn't matter. We're gonna go check this little cabin out. We're probably not gonna come back up here. We're gonna skitter down the cliff over there on the other side. So I figured we'd check this out and see if there's any little secret loots that we can grab. But yeah, I got that song stuck in my head, which whenever that happens to me, I have a hard time concentrating. And I pretty much, after I get done streaming, I'm probably gonna have to put that song on repeat for like 20, 30 times till I'm sick of it, and then it will be gone from my head. There we go. We got our Summity soda. I had no idea Skrillex was a Christian rock. Loots and boots. Look at that. We got boots. We did get the boots. Or are we gonna get pants? You called the boots, Mrs. Honeypot. Are we gonna get pants here though? Well, we got a book. We gotta advance guns. Guns. Yeah, let's go. Bob Dylan's one of my favorites, and some of his best period was when he had a religious awakening. I love that stuff, even though I'm not religious. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, you know, well, you look at some of the singers that have a lot of roots in religious type stuff, and you know, even Elvis Presley had kind of roots in that. Okay, this is almost burned out. We need to start a fire here. Boots are acceptable, exactly. And you know, and look at like and now I can't even remember his name. Walk the Line. Good God. I can't remember Johnny Cash. Good God. When Johnny Cash's name escapes you, you know you have too much on your mind. Good old Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash had, I mean, really deep, really deep roots in like religious type stuff. But you know, not a lot of his music was never that way. I mean, it was just that's he just had, you know, he just had roots in that. So. Christian bands often move to secular music once they realize the money's better. Well, of course. I mean, when you play something secular, you're definitely going to reach a wider audience. That's just how it is. I mean, it's kind of interesting though, because the gal Jen, who's the drummer for I may get this wrong, but I was reading about her the other day. Jen, the drummer for a Skillet, she actually before Skillet, she was like the member of like a praise band at a church. She was like the drummer in like a praise band, and the lead singer of Skillet didn't actually want her. He let her audition, but he was not really for her. But his wife, who's one of the guitarists, she actually pushed to get Jen in the band because she didn't want to be the only girl in the band. She wanted them to have another girl in the band. So she pushed to get Jen in the band, and the song Hero was like the first song that Jen ever sang on, and actually the lead singer's wife was supposed to be the backup vocals on that song, but she overheard Jen singing at one point, and basically asked her to fill in for her on Hero, and the rest is history. Jen's now become like the official like backup singer for Skillet because her voice just meshes so well with the lead singer. So, Redacted, thank you for the $10 super chat there, saying here's a 10 spot on behalf of Amy Grant. Indeed. Does Amy Grant do anything anymore? I mean, I don't even know how old Amy Grant is these days, but or if she's yeah, Amy Grant. Yeah, she's 63 now. Wow. Dang. Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in years. Yeah, she's 63. She was born in 1960. Wow. I mean, Amy Grant was huge. Amy Grant was huge back in the day. She was a very large. She was one of probably the biggest like contemporary Christian like singers that was out back then. But yeah, I got that Skillet song stuck in my damn head. It'll probably be there all day. Nothing I can do about it, other than look hot. Yeah, she was pretty hot. But she's talented too. Don't forget that, Redacted. 63. You are awful, Redacted. You are awful. If not for that $10 super chat, I'd be timing you out right now. Redacted likes, bring it on, sucker. Bring it on. You're awful, but the $10 super chat lets you get away with it for the moment. Surprising what $10 will buy you these days, right? Somebody will just lose their morals over it. I am, but in my defense, I'm a terrible person. Redacted, you know that's not true, buddy. You know that's not true. God, you know, and every time I see you, Redacted, I always am like, God, I wish Doppel would come back, even for just a little while. I would love to have Doppel come back just for like a week, and I'd even throw down and play some DayZ with him or something. I'd even throw down and play some DayZ with him or something, you know, just to have some time with Doppelgamer again. Well, we got it back here just in time. Just in time. I need a hero. Save me now. See, there's another Skillet song. It just is in my brain now. God dang it. Great, now I have Martha and the Muffin song stuck in my head. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get that stuck in your head. Alright. Mega, how are you doing? Hello, hello, my friend. We are actually going to save this book because this book will be useful to us later on if we want to read it. How much water do I have? We're probably gonna need to... Yeah, let's start a fire here. Let's get a fire going. You got stuck in the middle? Stuck in the middle. Like stuck in the middle with you. I got cold to the left and wolves to the right. Well, we often get that in this game. We get bears to the left and wolves to the right. And we're stuck in the middle with the cold.
Come on, little
I just got done cleaning my entire apartment. The place looks and smells really nice now. Nice, Mega. Yeah, I gotta go through here pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime in the next month, I gotta go through and do like a deep clean in my place. You know, you get to that point where you kind of gotta just do a deep clean and get it over with. Do that spring cleaning. Well, I just got my air conditioner up in my window this week, so that's nice. It's only supposed to get up to 70. They were saying earlier this week it was going to get up to 90 by next Sunday. Now it's all 70s this entire week, so it's not as bad as it was. But I do like having the AC on during the hottest parts of the day, and then I just turn it on to fan during the night because it doesn't use much energy when you have it on fan. It's basically just a fan blowing air from outside to inside, so. Stuck in the middle with you, Sticks. I see what you did there. 10. All right, let's grab a piece of meat. Yeah, that's a storm. Luckily, we have enough food and water that we can get here to survive through that. And I believe I can repair that. It would take 2 hours, and I need my guts and hides. Oh, I forgot it takes 2 hours. 2 hours. Gonna see if my hubby wants to watch a movie with me. Gotta go full Felix Unger. Yes, indeed. Indeed, full Felix Unger. For those of you who don't know who Felix is, there was this show back in the day about a couple of odd fellows, let's just say. Just for whatever reason, we'll just say it was about a couple of odd fellows. And one of them was a neat freak and the other one was not. Which made them odd fellows. If you know what I mean. God, I haven't seen, you know, Kenneth, I have not had an Oddfellows, I haven't seen an Oddfellows reference for many years. I don't think most people know what the Oddfellows even is these days. To be completely honest. Okay, so that's gonna take 36 minutes. That would take us too long to break down. It's probably gonna be worth it though. Let's look at what we get out of this chair if we break it down. Oh yeah, we're good. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're breaking that down, baby. Break it down. And let's make a little more water. And then we'll eat a piece of meat. We're getting a little hungry. Get a little hungry. We'll drink down our soda because we're getting a little thirsty, and that'll give us some calories back as well. I'm gonna save 20 of these cattails. There are no cattails in this zone except for going up the river to the ravine, which we aren't going to be doing for a little while. So I'm gonna save those cattails as kind of my emergency food, and we're gonna try to live off everything else that we can. So wow, that storm does not want to relinquish its hold on us at all. There's nowhere to put the tinder plug except in here. I'm gonna put the tinder plug in there. Oh, we have those boots to tear down. I've got these boots. All right, Mrs. Honeypot, thank you for coming by. We'll see you later, darling. Have a good movie and say hi to Mr. Honeypot for us, all right? And happy Mother's Day, by the way, as well, Mrs. Honeypot. I know it's a day late, dollar store, but happy Mother's Day to all the mothers for yesterday. You really dated yourself with that reference? Yes, you did. Most of the young folks would probably only know of the Odd Couple remake. Yeah, probably. Because you gotta remember, just like us, I mean, and this is not bashing young folks, because I was the same way when I was younger, and it took me a lot of years to realize the difference. But for most young people, it's hard to conceptualize anything that existed before they were born. Things that were there before they were born, it's hard for them to really, like, think about that and be like, you know, there was lots of stuff here before I was here. Bye-bye! Love ya, bye-bye! So, you know, and that is true of every generation. Every generation thinks that they are now facing problems that the previous generations never faced. Every generation thinks they're fighting a struggle against things that have never been faced by anybody on the planet before. You know, every generation has that feeling. And yes, they may be a little different, but human suffering is kind of human suffering has been there for as long as humanity's been around. And there's really the methods are different now, maybe, of how we suffer, but it's not any different really than what it used to be. It's maybe changed a little bit, but it's still, you know, suffering is suffering. And it all sucks one way or the other. It all sucks. Yeah, I know it's getting too heavy, darling. That's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Everything's gonna be okay. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, I picked my skillet up too fast. No, there we go. Put that down. Got a piece of meat here. And I think too that most people get so wrapped up in the cause of fixing whatever struggle that they never work on fixing themselves. Oh, the problems nowadays are a lot smaller than previous generations faced. I mean, you look at World War. You look at even just back to the beginning of the 1900s, where mortality rate for, you know why families had 5, 6, 7 children, is because the mortality rate of children was super low, was super high. You know, there were some places, I believe there were some places where they wouldn't even name the child unless it'd been alive for like a year, because it was like, sometimes it just didn't matter. But, you know, so, you know, the mortality rate and that sort of stuff, I mean, it's kind of funny because people always think that people live so much longer today than they used to. And yes, on average, we live a lot longer today than we used to. But as far as like living, you know, it's not like everybody died by the time they were 40 100 years ago. It's just that on average, a lot of people died before 40. A lot of young people died before 40. You know, but there were people who lived well into their 60s, 70s, even into their 80s. Back in the day. It wasn't very common, but there were people who did it. We do it a lot more now. The average has gone up because of our advances in medicine, but you go to third world countries and that still is you know, mortality rates are still high there. I mean, we've basically, in first world countries, we've basically, for the most part, statistically and, you know, we've eliminated infant mortality. We've eliminated it. Sure, it still happens, but it is statistically against the odds that it's going to happen, where it used to be statistically it was going to happen to one of your children at some point. Most families would have that kind of thing happen to them. And a lot of women died in childbirth too. We've pretty much eliminated in first world countries, women dying in childbirth. Does it still happen? Yes, but that's why I say we pretty much statistically eliminated it. It's a minute percentage of childbirths go wrong, where it used to be childbirth was a very scary thing 150 years ago, because a lot of mothers died during childbirth. It happened. A lot of times the infants would die during childbirth. And so just on that metric alone, we have life way easier today in first world countries. Because guess what? You have life easier if you're actually alive. Just a little tip I learned out there. If you're alive, you have a life a lot easier than if you're not alive. It's funny how that works out. Oh shoot, my fire went out. Speaking of things going out, son of a biscuit. Oh, we were just talking about how, people just always, the current generation, and it applies to any generation, applied to my generation, generations before that. We always think we have it harder than our parents did. We always think that we have so much going against us all the time. And I was just going through the fact that, 100, 150 years ago, I really believe they had it a lot harder than we do now.
Come on, little fire.
We have a lot, we take a lot for granted what we have today that they did not have, that they did not have 100 years ago. And yeah, we have different problems now, but I don't think life is necessarily harder these days than it was. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to the 1800s, as much as it'd be interesting to see that time. I wouldn't want to go back to a time where, water wasn't, things were not, water was bad. There was bad health care. If you got injured and got an infection, you could die. I mean, things that we just take for granted today killed them back then. I mean, yeah, there was no antibiotics. There was no, tuberculosis killed thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I mean, there were things that we cannot even conceive of that, that they just would, get taken out by all the time. But, and that's the thing, is just life expectancy. I think life expectancy is a good indicator of how easy or bad you have it. I think the worse off you are, your life expectancy is less. The better off you are, your life expectancy is more. And so I generally look at it as we have it pretty good. Our life expectancy is pretty good, and so in overall, despite life kind of sucking sometimes, at least we have life, at least we have life and it can suck. So a Stellaris question. Oh, well, not only will you have a Stellaris question, but we will soon be playing Stellaris. My parents grew up during the Great Depression, so they were really screwed compared to the kids growing up now. Oh yeah, I mean, my grandma grew up during the Great Depression as well. My mom and her sister and my mom's family growing up were, I mean, if you looked at it, if it compared to something today, if you looked at how my mom grew up and the stories she's told me of how they grew up and what they had to do, my grandpa on that side was an oil driller, and at that point in time, he basically moved to where the jobs were, and it was a very dirty job. He died of a heart attack in his 40s, probably brought on by the stress of all the work he did throughout his life. But my mom, for many, many years, never started and ended a school year in the same district. They moved from shanty town to shanty town. They lived very, I mean, it would basically be counted as dirt poor, compared to today's standards. They never had a lot of money. They always wore hand-me-downs and my mom can remember having an outhouse. My mom can remember not having indoor plumbing to use the bathroom. I mean, it's stuff that's just, it blows my brain, because it's like, I always grew up having indoor plumbing and stuff like that, you know. Well, that's true. Generation doesn't know what a shanty is. So shanty towns back in the day were where they put up temporary workers a lot of times. They were usually pretty run down little, they were basically 4 walls and something to heat it, and that was about it. There was not really many, it was usually like 1 room, maybe 2 rooms if you put a partition, like a curtain up in it. And maybe sometimes you get a little larger one that would actually have 2 actual rooms in it. They usually did not have indoor plumbing of any kind. They would usually have a stove, like an actual like fire stove that you would cook your food on. It wasn't an ideal kind of life, but for a lot of people like them, like my mom's family, they moved from place to place. They never really put down roots. They never really put down roots. I mean, because they never settled for very long. And so to the idea of buying a house or renting an apartment was never really a thing. And so usually the company would put them up in a little shanty town for however long they needed them there. They'd make a bunch of little houses, put them up in them, and that's where they'd live. So. And it's like, and I never experienced that in my entire life. I always had four walls around me. I had heat during the summertime. We had food. The food we had was never anything fancy. I even talked to my mom about this yesterday. I was like, Mom, it's one of those things where your food was never fancy. It was never like, duck a la rouge or, duck under glass or, some sort of fancy steaks or anything. But we always had food. We always had casseroles. My mom made a lot of casseroles, a lot of mac and cheese type things. Basically, a lot of dishes that would go for 3 or 4 days, basically. That's the kind of cooking my mom grew up with. And that's the kind of stuff she cooks. And it was always good. It filled us up. It did the job. And, in the end, that's sort of what it's supposed to do. So. But yeah, this generation doesn't know what a shanty is. They know what tiny homes are, though. Think of a shanty. A shanty is like a tiny home minus the plumbing, minus the central air, and minus as many rooms. It's tiny. It's worse than a tiny home size-wise, and it has none of the amenities of a tiny home. You usually have like a bed that would have like a pull out for the kids to sleep on. So. Yeah, it was a different way of coming up in the world for sure. Different way altogether. But thank you everybody. Tuna noodle casserole all the time, dude. Tuna noodle casserole was one of my favorites. I love me a tuna noodle casserole. Yum, yum, yum. I remember meals like beet soup and Hoover stew my mom used to make. Oh yeah, my mom used to make tomatoes and pasta, which literally was a vat of tomato and macaroni noodles, macaroni and pasta, or macaroni and tomatoes. And so she'd make that up in a big pot, and we'd have buckets of it in the fridge for like the next week. I never liked it. Never liked that at all. But YouTubers, thank you so much for joining me today. We will be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. I need to take a quick bathroom break and get a drink. Turn my AC down a little bit because it's a little on the chilly side. So I need to do that, and then we'll be back with Stellaris. For those of you here on Twitch, we will be jumping right into Stellaris here very soon. So hang out. We'll be there soon. Stellaris has a new update that just came out last week, and it's called the Machine Age, and we are playing one of the Machine Age races, which is totally fun. But YouTubers, thank you for coming by, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, no, not tomorrow, because I'm going to see my son at college tomorrow. I'll be back with Long Dark on Thursday. We might do our Planet Crafter on Wednesday if I have time to do it. So, until then, take care. All right.